Hi, this is Janet, and I'm Sly. Back in 2016, we both decided it was time to stop working, buy an RV, and start traveling the country and the world. Since the RV was going to be our home, we decided a little remodel might be in order. And so we got down and did a little bit of work, laid new floors, put some new paint in the walls, and made the RV something that we thought we could live in for the long term. And once the RV was pretty much the way we wanted it, we started our travels, and we've been doing it ever since. So join us as we explore this country and the world, and maybe we can even meet up with some of you along the way. We hope you enjoy this video, and that maybe it helps you plan some travels of your own. And now it's October of 2021, and we're in Las Vegas, Nevada. We started off this morning in Fredonia, Arizona at the Country Rose RV Park. Fredonia was cold this morning. It was barely up into the 30s, and we were looking forward to this 4.5-hour drive down to Las Vegas, Nevada because, among other things, it's a lot warmer right now. 15 minutes of driving and we were out of Arizona and into Utah. The drive through Utah was still up at over 4,000 feet, so eventually we had to make our way downhill into the canyons. This sudden drop put us down into Hurricane, Utah, just a few miles away from St. George, Utah, where we needed to stop and get some gas. And after a short stop for gas, it was time to continue, but it was also time for the relief driver to pitch in and do some driving. After a short conversation, the relief driver took a cat nap and, well, I'm back behind the wheel again. Once we left the gas station on the south end of St. George, Utah, we didn't have very far to go before Utah was in our rearview mirror and we were once again in Arizona. Didn't we just leave Arizona a little while ago? Once we were in Arizona, we continued our descent through the canyons that would eventually make our way into Nevada. Once out of the canyon, the road opened up, and before you knew it, we were in Nevada. A short drive through Nevada, and we finally spotted Las Vegas, our destination for the next few months. We are going to be staying at Nellis Air Force Base. Nellis is on the northeast side of the city, so the drive into the base was pretty simple. And we were also pleasantly surprised at how easy it was to get into this gate. As some of you know, trying to get onto military bases through the gates is a little difficult for larger RVs as it tends to be a little tight. The RV park itself was fairly close to the gate, and it didn't require us to drive through some of the more crowded areas of the base to get there. The check-in process was easy. They even had a nice place to park the RV while we were actually checking in at the office. And although we just got here, I like this RV park. Okay, so it doesn't have the roomiest sites, but they're adequate, and most important, nice, level, concrete pads. So now it's time to settle in at Desert Eagle RV Park and start planning our next adventure. But after 6 years of traveling, this next adventure wasn't so much an adventure as it was a minor chore. It's never a good thing when you see drips of water coming out from under your RV, and this drip was tracked back to our shower. One job down, and it's on to the next job. The next thing to look at was my dish satellite receiver, which has annoyingly been turning itself off for what appeared to be no apparent reason. After quite a while of trying to figure it out, we now believe that the problem is the power strip. The power strip is pretty old, and it's supposed to interrupt power in case of a power surge. We think that the power strip is misbehaving, so we're just gonna go ahead and replace it. And while we're at it, we might as well go ahead and just clean up everything around it. It's been a while since we dug back there and just really dusted things the way they should be dusted. And we won't be needing these humidifiers since we're out here in the deserts of Nevada, so we might as well put them away. Behind the fireplace makes a good place for long-term storage. There are still a few other things that need to be fixed, but that's going to take a professional, and we're hoping tomorrow we get some RV maintenance done. Well, tomorrow didn't happen, but I do have an appointment to get my RV service done. So in the meantime, let's do some real adventures. First thing on the list is Fremont Street. We decided to do this with our new friends, Mike and Vanessa. One of the many cool things about Fremont Street is the zip line. The zip line spans 2 different towers that take you under the dome of Fremont Street. This has got to be a fantastic view. I can't wait to try it. Fremont is alive with music and lights and people. We spotted the sign for a restaurant. Over 350 pounds eats free. We did not eat there, but we did find another good place to eat. This is the Whiskey Liquor Up Saloon. Other than a really cool name, it also had some really good food. After dinner, we spent a little bit more time exploring Fremont Street before we finally called it a night and headed on home. The next day, we decided to take a drive up into the mountains outside of Las Vegas. Our destination was Lee Canyon. Lee Canyon is a ski resort about an hour's drive from the RV. Since we really want to do some skiing this winter, we decided to take a look at where we might be spending some of that time skiing. The fact that there's already some snow underground bodes well for us as far as skiing goes. But I gotta say, the ski resort looks really small, and the parking situation, well, let's just say there really isn't any that I could see. The resort is opened on weekends now, so I think we're going to come back up here on a weekend to get a better look at exactly what's going on up here before we make any kind of ski decisions. So after the quick look at Lee Canyon, we headed on up to Charleston Peak. The drive up to Charleston Peak was a nice scenic mountain drive. Along the way, we stopped at the Kyle Canyon picnic area because it was time for us to have our lunch with a view. The picnic area was almost empty. There's very few people up here this time of year. And I get that. It's getting cold, there's snow on the ground, there are better places to be right now. But we enjoyed our lunch with a view, and after that, we made our way back down to the RV park. We've been here in Vegas for a week now. We have a lot of time left here and a lot more places to explore. As always, if you look down at the description, you'll find a link to all the places that we visited. So, as we look around this little corner of the country, both Janet and I hope that we'll see you as we continue to explore this stop.